day 1,659 days. Wow, since Richard was killed in the line of duty, murdered. We believe the crime scene was building 2479 in the basement on Fort Bliss. That's what we believe, that he was murdered in the line of duty for reporting the criminal trafficking. And I would say the supply chain. Richard was clever. Um, he was a watcher, and he was exposing their criminal trafficking absolutely in a big way, in a documented way. And that's why there has been so much tampering uh, in his case, and including with his remains. But the forensics is coming back, and it is absolutely exposing what they've done. And it's putting, them on notice, really, because um, the all the other evidence that is coming out from what Trump is exposing is corroborating everything that we've been saying, right? That there are those that have infiltrated, that are bad actors into our agencies, into our security, that there is those in the CID that would tamper, those in the CBP that would tamper, um, that are absolutely abusing their badges, abusing their uniforms, abusing um, what has been the tools that have been entrusted to them. Um, we're absolutely seeing all of that come out, the fraud, waste, and abuse that we cannot say now, that there can't, um, that we can just rest easy, that they don't need oversight. We can't say that. We say we need very, very strict oversight on our entrusted officials. Um, we have it now in the news that the secretary or the Department of Education has been um, taken down. I guess ended, closed. Yeah, closed is a good word. That the Department of Education has been closed down, and that's really uh, good news. People understand that that's good news. For a long time, you would talk about the Department of Education, and people would say, "What do you mean you want to close that down? The education is so important." But now, um, and this has been a battle that that I've seen for many, I would say, decades. That I would absolutely say to people, we need to shut down the Department of Education, and they would take that language as saying that that would be uh, like I'm against educating children. No, it's the department that is abusing their purse, abusing their duty, the reason why they were even formed, you know, and that they were and have done our children harm, the whole education system harm, by giving even the Department of Education a bad name, right? And so it needed to be closed down. It hasn't worked. They are a failure, and the when something is a failure, you have to close them down. You can't let them continue to operate. And that's why our team has asked, does Fort Bliss need to be shut down? It has not, it doesn't have a mission. It hasn't fulfilled its mission. If it does have a mission, if it doesn't have a mission, if it hasn't fulfilled its mission, if it's doing harm, which it absolutely has done harm, then it needs to be closed down. And, going into the Walmart mass shooting case, the Walmart mass shooting case, does that need to be closed down? Right? Um, is it doing harm? Absolutely. It's costing millions and millions. And the state case right now is costing so much money. And, you have Patrick Crusius already sentenced to 90 life sentences. Um, does the case need to be closed down? Is it just a tool for greed, right? To collect millions of dollars without moving it forward. Right now, it has been taken off the scheduling. It has no scheduled hearings at all. Think about that. We are over 5 years from August 3rd, 2019, when that mass shooting happened. And right now, there is no scheduled hearings for it. Pre-trial hearings. Pre-trial hearings. This case is going nowhere. And the wrongful death suits are being thwarted. I guess that's a good word. They're going nowhere. So the victims of the Walmart mass shooting have been played. They've been absolutely played. It's going nowhere. And, you know, when you look at other cases and try to predict when this case will, have some degree of completion, you're looking at 2028, 2028, maybe 2029. I mean, that's shocking. So we have 2025 here with no scheduled hearings. And these are just pretrial hearings. And we believe that there is a real problem with Montoya, right? That with the DA's office, we believe that there is a real problem with him. And we've, said, hey, Yvonne Rosales, you need to check into this. You need to put your heels on. Because not, she has a duty. She swore she has a duty she has to fill because she's duly elected. She has a duty to all those that voted for her and beyond, and those that didn't vote for her, because she won the election, and she didn't win the election for just those that voted for her. She won the election for El Paso, right? For the 34th Judicial District. And so for that entire district, she has a duty. And so, with these questions that are going on, and why James Montoya hasn't even fought for the Walmart case to go forward. Nothing. It's going to be the same old thing, right? And then the questions that we have about his installation as district attorney, um, you know, that's something that if I was Yvonne Rosales, I'd be looking at carefully and also with open records, right? To know if I need to fulfill my duty further. Because it really looks like it. It really does look like it. Um, and so I'm heartbroken for the victims of this Walmart mass shooting. It's horrible. It's absolutely horrible that they may never have closure, that this case is right now looking at 2028, could be 2029, and that the people of America, right, of the United States, of Texas, are having to pay all of this money for this disaster. I would say, I think I want my money back. I think I want my money back, Joe Spencer. I think I do. I think I've been played. I've been played, and it's illegal. It's illegal. It's criminal. It's absolutely criminal because you had mitigating evidence. Um, yeah, and of course, now it's just going to be bigger and bigger because of what we have exposed, and that includes El Paso Matters and Bob Moore, that they absolutely were sitting on mitigating evidence, that they were sitting on that Patrick Crucius had close family ties right here in El Paso, but not just right here in El Paso, but in the federal courthouse of Judge Guadarrama, his judge. Hey, judge, your office manager is my family. We can go to a picnic together. We can go to a picnic and maybe we'll go to the wedding together. Why are you giving me 90 life sentences when you're so close to my family? You work day in and day out and you have give access to my family all of the information from the cases, not only access but also you allow them to manage it. Um this is really, really something. Can you imagine a discussion between Patrick Crucius and Judge Waterama? You know, oh, did you see my brother today? My brother, my my family members today. Did you work with them today? That is did you see my sister-in-law? You know, I wonder when I'm gonna have a nephew or niece. I wonder when I'm gonna have a nephew. Are you gonna are you gonna be there for the baptism? Are you gonna be there to install my nephew or niece or whatever, or give them, some kind of security clearance or maybe a badge in the future, or you know, um let's keep this all in the family in the courthouse, right? You know, in the federal courthouse at that. But no, you gave me 90 life sentences. And, uh, yeah, it is really, with the security. Oh yeah, my, my brother-in-law, uh, my family members, he was working for Walmart, maybe he's the one that got that camera shot of me. Well, I looked pretty cool. I looked pretty cool there. I looked like maybe some kind of bad guy. But they told me to go away the first time I surrendered, and then the second time I surrendered, maybe I did it right that time. I don't know. Um, it's just there's so many questions here and so many scenarios, but the facts are that Patrick Crucius's family can be found in the El Paso federal courthouse, and right there with Judge Guadarrama. And now we have the Walmart mass shooting case, the state case, absolutely frozen, absolutely keeping any of the victims from getting the help that they need going forward, getting the wrongful death suit that they want from Walmart. It's funny that Michael Gianni Maella, worked for the security, maybe still does, security for Walmart, and now the victims can't get their wrongful death suit. I mean, that's so it's not just our case, it's not just Richard's case, even though we did um eh, get the declaration of death. We got the declaration in the line of duty. Absolutely, it was so much information from all of that Richard was murdered on Fort Bliss. And then from the forensics, um, that is just coming in, and I'm not at liberty to say everything, but I can tell you this, that there is absolutely evidence of the tampering, um, hard evidence of tampering of evidence, and clear. You can just absolutely know that there was a cover up going on. And so that is really the message. There's so much, like we put out, I think 7 letters today, 7 letters, so much going on behind the scenes because this is a new administration. This new administration absolutely is calling out illegal aliens that are in this country. And the forensics yesterday, I told you Leilani Hart was born in Samoa. She was married in Samoa. This is an independent country. And it corroborates that she had to do immigration to come into the country. And it's corroboration that she says that she has immigration legality problems, that she's illegally in this country, right? Illegally in this country. And, something is going on um, because of the VA disability benefits, because of her changing of names, which is really an attempt to cover up. It's why Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth today uh, made it very plain to everybody and signed it off that Fort Bragg is now once again Fort Bragg. It's no longer Fort Liberty. It is Fort Bragg. And why? Because that is the name that needs to be held accountable, right? That's accountability. You can't just change your name to erase your criminal history. And, I think this changing name to FR Mayo or whatever is an attempt for Leilani Hart to erase, attempt to escape accountability. And it's not going to work because she is Leilani Hart. She can say, change her name many times, but she's still Leilani Hart, and um, it absolutely she needs to be held accountable. She needs to be arrested ASAP right now. Yesterday, she needs to be arrested yesterday for the crimes that she has absolutely committed. There is no doubt. It's hard evidence that she has committed crimes and she needs to be arrested. And so, and as the forensic comes out, I can tell you this, our forensics are confirming that the crime committed against Richard is treason. It's a treasonous murder, a treasonous premeditated murder, and you will understand soon, but I think you already understand because of what is coming out in the news with the other agencies, with the other fraud, waste, and abuse that's coming out. That is corroborating what we've been saying all along, that there's a big cover up going on, and that people are misusing their and abusing their power, right? Their position. And so that is really, um, you know, that's what we need to correct in this country, isn't it? We need to, and we'll see, a lot of smart people are working on it, but people need to be held accountable for the dereliction of their duty and the treason, the, and I've been saying it, um, serving foreign and domestic enemies. It's treason. Also, Tucker Carlson has um, revealed, and I put up an article that linked to him also, and that the money that was supposed to go to Ukraine wasn't going to Ukraine at all. It was going to Mexico. The weapons, the weapons that were supposed to go to Ukraine, uh, they were lying to us. It was going to the cartels. It was going to, yeah. And that's the cartels there in Mexico, the Mexican cartels. And that's why things seem to be getting a little kinetic. They are very well armed, but we're better armed. And, but when you're a good general, when you're a good lawyer, you don't have to go to war or go to court. You can absolutely have enough to get a victory without it, right? To get a victory without it, without the war, without the court. And everyone knows that, right? Everyone knows um, for for a good general will have the least amount of deaths, the least amount of battles. They will use their politics. They will use their strategies to save their country, which means save their countrymen. Nobody wants to go to war. And, we've had decades of bad leadership that choose to go to war and maim and kill our people. And and I know a little bit about that because my husband was a physician assistant. It's pretty sad. It is really. And what they did to Richard, of course. And so these weapons that are being supposed to be going to Ukraine and all of that, it just shows that whole thing is a ruse. It's kind of like all the mandates that we had in 2020, 2021. It was all a ruse, right? It was all a ruse. Um, and so this whole thing, sending weapons to Ukraine, is a ruse. And Tucker Carlson, I think, uh, go to him. He explains it really well. That money is going to the cartels because they want to protect their criminal trafficking, their billion-dollar industry that they have built over decades, um, and fine-tuned it, and they now have a supply chain that's bottlenecking because of a closed border. And because of the scrutiny that's going on right now. So there's going to be some gnashing of the teeth. And I guess this whole thing with with Ukraine's weapons going to Mexico, that discovery is going to reveal even more. The other news is that if you're in the United States and you do Google, if you're somewhere else, it's going to maybe read differently. But if you're going on Google and you're going on Google Maps, you will see the Gulf of America. And um, I'm just really, that is such a power move. It's such a strength and unifying move um, for Americans, for the Americas, right? And I really hope that people will see it that way, um, that it is absolutely, we're not going to give up America, okay? We're not going to give up America for foreign entities that want us, right? We need to be Americans, and we have foreign bad players that don't want us to be Americans. And so I think it's a very important message um, to those that uh, have worked very, very hard to put into place a a takeover, a warless. Well, I don't think it's a battleless, but maybe a warless takeover of our country economically and financially and buying property, buying huge swaths of property, and playing our farming very badly, our food badly, uh, our health badly, to do us harm. We Americans have fight left. That's what that says. I think it was an amazing move on President Trump to send a clear message to Americans to strap on their boots and get to work and be Americans and not be treasonous, um, not be compromised, um, be Americans. And yeah, that's very, very powerful for our family. And so, very glad to share that. So, this is, and we, um, and when I say strap on your boots, absolutely strap on your boots, right? We've got work to do. We've got work to do. And this is for absolutely justice, and it's to establish justice in this land to make sure that the rule of law um, is adhered to and is respected. And that is when the thieves won't have power. That's when the traffickers won't have power. Okay? That's when our children won't be trafficked or groomed or the worst type of crimes against children videotaped and then sold for profit. That's when we have work to do. And that's when we will, there is no excuse for the Walmart case to go on this long, and there's no excuse for Richard's case to go on this long. We should absolutely have his remains, um, and the wrongful death suits should absolutely go forward in the Walmart case and in Richard's case. Absolutely hold these people accountable. Those that did the dastardly acts and those that did the cover up, those that aided, embedded, and abetted, we absolutely um, want to hold them accountable for what they've done. And it doesn't matter if if they're in a uniform with 4 stars, they need to be held accountable. It doesn't matter if they're the platoon leader, they need to be held accountable. It doesn't matter. This, they have time right now, since January 20th, more than ever, to speak up. Because once Kash Patel gets in there in the FBI, uh, and the rest of the nominations get in there, Tulsi Gabbard in intelligence, because this is about security and intelligence. This is about controlling security and intelligence, because if you want to have a thieving, trafficking network, then you need to be able to control the cameras. You need to be able to control the gates. You need to be able to control the port of entries. You need to also be able to tamper with the intelligence, with the records, like CID Tavita Nusa, former CID agent Tavita Nusa, and Marlon Soto, dirty agent Nieto, the leaks and the tampering and the covering up. And, so the forensics shows that, and we are absolutely putting all of that together, working uh, constantly behind the scenes to put out the letters and to establish justice so that these people will not be funded, will not have the funds, and will not be able to do their very, very evil criminal uh, actions and businesses. So, and um, and really restrain from what they did to Richard. Uh, that just cannot happen. That cannot happen. He's an absolute Richard's absolute hero. He was right all along about uh, the crime on Fort Bliss. Um, Absolutely, Trump has been right all along. Um, the weaponization of our justice system, absolutely. And Judge Rodriguez has been right all along that this open border, this criminal trafficking cannot um, cannot be confused. It is absolutely a terrorist organization. And so that is really, it's all being corroborated, and we've been right all along. So thank you so much, Martha. Thank you. I hope they'll all be punished and pay for everything they've done. Justice for Richard. Absolutely. And, when that happens, then, it will truly be a golden age. Because think about the millions and millions of fraud, waste, and abuse. Haiti could be absolutely rebuilt, right? But I'm hearing that money went to a wedding. The Clinton wedding. Oh, yeah, let's just pay for Chelsea Clinton $10 million wedding or something like that. I don't know. Tell me if I'm right or wrong, but that's what I heard. Um, our roads, our infrastructure, our factories, our farms, our border towns, our magnificent cities like El Paso could be absolutely the golden age. And when thieves are allowed to control, um, it's hell. So yeah, strap on your boots and let's get to work. Let's establish justice, because justice is the answer. Our, Judge Waterama, what he's done, um, you know, uh, was he hoodwinked? Was he hoodwinked? Um, by Michael Maella and his family. Um, but what El Paso Matters did is absolutely criminal because they had the duty to expose what was going on in the federal courthouse. They had the duty. And Bob Moore chose to do a quid pro quo with Michael Miela and get access to the courthouse, and agree to not mention Miela's name, Miela's family's name, his daughter's name, who is married to Patrick Crusius's brother, and of course his son's name, who has all of these security ties, legal ties, DA, FBI, Walmart security. Yeah, don't mention the name. Let it lay fallow, and I'll give you access. And the other quid pro quo with that is, I can that um, with impunity, El Paso Matters um, could cover up the use of unreliable sources like convicted criminal Lonnie Hart and others, um, and the damage done to duly elected Yvonne Rosales, also Judge Roger Rodriguez, and that they could tamper, they could use these unreliable criminal sources to do real harm, and they could do it with impunity because they had something over the courthouse, right? They had something over um, Judge Guadarrama, and they had something, I mean, when you're the office manager, right? And so just to have access to those cases and everything, just for the silence to let the crime just continue. It's El Paso Matters gets a 501c3. They absolutely have a duty because it is criminal for them not to report to the people these conflicts of interest that are putting roadblocks in the justice system. Absolutely. Especially for death penalty cases like Patrick Crusius's case is a death penalty case. You don't mess around with that because if you, let's say he got the death sentence, then these people that did this, withheld the mitigating evidence and everything, could be also sentenced to death. It is that serious when it comes to the law. So there's a lot of protections in there in the law for the people and for defendants and for whistleblowers. And those who have been um, really violated by El Paso Matters, who, is owned by El Paso. The mother company is the El Paso Community Foundation, which was in charge of the funds, the over $12 million of victims' funds. And they haven't been transparent about it. Where did that money go? How did they use it? Maybe Doge needs to look into them, right? Doge needs to look into them. I don't know if they can. Is a government, Anyway, it's a 501c3, right? They could look into it and how that money was dispersed. They absolutely have the right to tell us. I mean, the duty to tell us how that money was dispersed, and they haven't. So, and of course, don't forget that Yvonne Rosales was looking into that, right? She was looking in to the fraud disbursement of the victims' funds from the Walmart mass shooting. Over $12 million. That's a lot of money. So, El Paso Matters, did they use their position to help them politically for financial gain, to stop any kind of investigation into their mother company? That's, or mother foundation, right? The foundation. So those are all so much coming in. But tomorrow I will be back, God willing, and it seems every day is breaking news, and we do have breaking news today. But just know that forensics is coming back, absolutely confirming that there's been tampering. Thank you so much. God bless you.